Welcome back to We Still Like Each Other, the podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Stephanie.
And this is the podcast where we show that the honeymoon stage can last forever.
Forever and ever.
Hi, baby.
Hey, Daddy.
What's up?
Nothing much. Welcome back.
Welcome back to us.
A jam-packed episode. We got a lot to talk about.
I'm excited. I didn't really get to see the outline that you came up with, so it should be good.
Yeah. It's a bunch of little things. I feel like the direction might be a little off, but there's a lot of things to have some interesting conversations on.
There's some substance there. How you been?
I'm doing well. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting a little sick here and there, trying to get the fall activities in, homeschools on the wraps, and we're like super busy getting a lot of work done. But I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. Feeling good. Feeling healthy, which is important when I'm surrounded by sick children. I can't afford to be homesick at the moment.
No, not for nothing. You have a week off coming up. And I just keep thinking, like, watch him be sick that week. And I'm going to be so mad. Like, I love you. You're entitled to be sick. But, like, I need you at 100% that week.
You always need me at 100%. Can we not pretend?
Especially that week.
Yeah, like I gave up on the whole I'm going to take care of you while you're sick thing long time ago.
Wait, I don't take care of you when you're sick?
Just like you don't give me time to like enjoy the sickness.
Oh, so like to milk it and
not
like be
milk
extra
it.
sick. And...
Not milk it, but like go get some sleep. I'll bring you like something in bed.
I do it
you
when
want
it's
your video
appropriate.
games, baby.
I make you chicken soup.
Do you have a fever? Because you know I love it when you have a fever.
Fever dick. Okay. Anyway, we're not talking about that.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah. You ready to jump in?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I know on our Instagram stories, every once in a while, we'll put up like a question box and ask people to ask us questions. So one of the questions that I wanted to talk about is, how do you handle conversations around unattractiveness? And initially I was like confused by the question, but my interpretation is like when your partner does something that you don't find attractive, or you start to find them unattractive, especially if you're together for a long time, we start to change. But what made me want to talk about it was something I recently saw on the new season of Love is Blind. One of the couples was talking about how for women, once they get the ick, it's hard to turn back from that. And the male in the partnership in the couple was saying, men don't experience the ick. Like, I don't understand that feeling. So I guess my question to you is, do men get the ick?
I don't think so. I feel like if we do, it's really early on. And it's just at that point, we know it's not going to be a real thing.
Connection.
But to your point, I think women can get it at random times and throughout a relationship. And then all of a sudden you're 5 years in and your partner has the ick for something you're doing or have done.
I think it could happen to anyone. I do agree that it could happen early on, which is why I feel like these Love is Blind couples, they're just meeting for the first time. But thinking of long-term relationships, marriages, people having children, bodies changing, and someone can become unattractive. And how would you handle that? What advice do you have for people who might be encountering that?
I think communication, be honest, because if you let that fester, it's going to become...
This is one of those things that, like, I don't think just communicate and be honest is the solution. Like, that's really hard to say to someone. Like, what do you say?
Because if you got into a relationship with someone, I'm assuming at some point you were attracted to them. And then something changed. So it doesn't mean or at least I'm assuming that the thing that changed isn't this thing that's irreversible.
What if it is? What if it's like having children and your body's different, stretch marks, things aren't going back in place like they used to? What if that's the thing?
Then you need to save up your money and get a good surgeon.
Oh my God, babe, you're terrible. This is horrible advice. What?
I don't. I get.
Speak your truth, King.
No. I think all jokes aside, I think it's hard to even like imagine, because, you know, if anything, you having children, despite the changes it may have done to your body, have made you more attractive to me. The stretch marks you have, every change to your body is just something that I appreciate more, and especially when I see my children. So it's hard for me to imagine that someone could feel that way about their partner.
But I would say, like, remember, changes for every body is different. Some are more drastic.
It's I don't know. I think it's kind of fucked up on that person's part.
Yeah.
Especially,
it's tough. I think if the reason you're suddenly unattracted to your partner is strictly physical, it's not really fair. However, I will say I can understand becoming unattracted by someone's habits, right? So if there's a physical change, but because you have become less mobile, your eating habits, like it's a personal decision and self-sabotage, then that to me is unattractive. You know what I'm saying? But if it's just like, you know, we're aging, our metabolisms are changing, there was an accident, you had children or something in that vein,
yeah,
then it's not really fair. Does that make sense?
it does. But also, I'm thinking about, like, you know, once you give birth, everything about your life changes, and, you know, your sleeping patterns, and sometimes you're like eating like shit just because it's like the way your day is working. And I feel like if someone isn't like having that snapback, I don't think that's a reason for their partner to like be I mean, you can't help what you feel, but I just also think like you have to give some grace.
Yeah. For me, I also think of like just wanting to feel a little bit cared for. Like the other day, I've been dealing with postpartum depression, like on and off, and it comes in waves, and I'll have my moments. And I remember looking in the mirror and just noticing like my pores on my face were clogged. Like it just looked like I haven't exfoliated my skin. Like I just kind of had one of those moments when I wake up and I'm like, oh, I need to like take care of myself a little better. And I kind of asked you, like, you're in my face all the time and you never noticed that like my pores are clogged. And you kind of were just like, no, I didn't. But to me, it felt like I kind of would want you to point that out to me. And I know to you, it's like, it's not unattractive. I didn't even notice. But for me, it's more so like you're caring for me. And although I might be blinded by the depression or maybe unaware, that I have someone who's going to be like, oh, babe, take some time. I can see that your pores are clogged. What?
I don't know. I still feel differently about it. Like I think everything you said up until that point, like I agree that, you know, there are ways I should show that I'm caring for you. I'm concerned about you. Maybe that particular example is like hard to wrap my head around, and only because, you know my face regimen, it's like water and a bar of soap that
he literally washes with like Dove soap
that I wash my ass with, like
Jergens lotion on his face.
And so, and you know, although I should probably get a face regimen, it just hasn't been a priority for me in my 36 years of life. So it's not something that's like in the back of my mind when it comes to you. Although, you know, I feel like, you know, I sit with you or I stand with you while you do your face regimen every night because you don't want to be left alone. I don't know. If you just went to bed, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, she forgot. You know, I don't know.
And I don't expect you to, but I feel like there's a difference between like, oh, Stephanie's had a long day, she's skipping her skincare routine, versus like Stephanie's probably like depressed because she's neglecting her skin in a way that isn't like her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe the bigger, now that I said that out loud, I hadn't said it in that way, it really isn't about you noticing that my pores are clogged. But like you said, you keep me company and you stand with me in the bathroom every time I do my skincare. So if that pattern has changed, that's the thing that should be pointed out. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And when you put it that way, that is a good point. Like if I'm noticing that we're just brushing our teeth and going straight to bed like 5 days in a row, that should be like, I shouldn't be like celebrating that we get to go to bed quicker.
Which is probably what you're doing.
I'm like, yes. That's a good point. Yeah, noted. Lower your mic a little bit.
Okay, so
you're covering up your beautiful face.
Wait, what?
Just lower it. Yeah.
Oh, the mic. Okay, yeah. Is that too low?
No, it's good.
Okay. Okay. So, next question from the stories post. It was about how do we stay together through all the different stages of life, and I picked this one because I feel like right now we might be in one of our like toughest seasons. And I wanted to know if you agreed with that.
Well, I have told you that I agree with that. Yeah, year 8 is, I don't know the word to not sound so negative. It's just
be honest.
Challenging. Uh-huh. It's definitely been the year of reflection, holding up a mirror to myself. And I think you said it best, where I felt like year 8 was just so many things have been piling up, and kind of it's just a lot to deal with. And you brought up the point that it's not new things. It's just a lot of things that have been coming up throughout our time together, and it's gotten to a boiling point. Mm-hmm. And now we're trying to simmer the water and, get it to a lukewarm area. So,
So how would you say we handle, or we manage to stay together despite year 8 being tough?
I think the most important thing is that we both know that we want to be together. That's the goal. Mm-hmm. The bigger goal than that is also being happy, because anyone can be together for 50, 60 years. Mm-hmm. But we also want to look back on this and say, we had an amazing life together. So with that being said, how do we get to that?
Yeah. We're working towards happiness. So that allows us to stay together, because we know it wouldn't be sustainable without that.
Yeah. So with that common goal in mind, I think we are both putting our best foot forward, mm-hmm. and just hearing each other out.
Yeah, we've noticed that sometimes, because we want to be happy and because we genuinely like each other, and I think it's very easy for us to get into conversations where we're laughing and joking and we're sexual and frisky with each other, that the issues that are going on get put on the back burner. And I think something that this year we've been doing is remembering to address the issue. Even when we fall into those, haha, kiki, we're cool. It's let's not forget that we're dealing with this bigger issue. And I don't think there's anything special about year 8 in general, for anyone in marriage. I think for us is the addition of a third child.
Yeah.
Balancing a podcast, being a homeschool parent, you commuting far for work. It's just so many things that in finances in our life that have made year 8 particularly difficult.
Yeah, I don't really, to your point, I don't really believe in year 3, year 4, or it's just life.
Definitely. And I also think for me, the fact that baby number 3 is a daughter, I have this extra pressure as a woman to stand on my ground and the things that I want and the things that I expect from you.
You have definitely thrown in my face a few, what would your daughter think of you, or or what?
That sounds crazy, if you're doing some crazy shit.
No, it's not. Or I don't even think it was that. It was more what would you say if your daughter told you her partner
if she was dealing with the same issue with her partner? And again, it's not any cheating or anything crazy. It's just more certain expectations that I go back and forth on whether I'm asking for too much. And I'm just like, but what if your daughter said, you know, I've been asking for the same thing for 8 years.
And then I'm over here trying to like give myself some bail. And I'm like, I would tell my daughter that as long as he's trying, or some, you know, some bullshit that I'm trying to like get that on me.
Yeah.
But although, you know, I hate hearing that, there is some truth to it. There is some, you know, reflection of my actions that I have to do, and realize that I wouldn't want my daughter to deal with any of my kids, really.
Yeah. And parenting, and you all know, if you're listeners of this podcast, how I love any conversation where I can include like evolutionary psychology. And I found this account on Instagram by this woman named Elena Bridges. And in her bio, it says, "Why is modern motherhood so hard? Examining the science and evolution of it, learning from hunter-gatherers." And this one specific post that came across my feed talks about the number of years that hunter-gatherer women waited between having children.
Okay.
And it was interesting because she said that chimpanzees have kids 6 years apart, orangutans have kids 8 years apart, and human hunter-gatherers, so like our ancestors, had babies 4 years apart. But compared to those three, chimpanzees, orangutans, human hunter-gatherers, human babies are the most immature, meaning they need the most support compared to them. So it's like, why did humans evolve to have babies closer together even though their babies are more immature, right? Because it wouldn't make sense in an evolutionary perspective. But the understanding is, or the best guess is, that we evolved to have like shortened interbirth intervals because we raised children collectively, right? So we had support. Community. And what do we know about our modern society?
It's almost non-existent.
A community where, yet we kind of adapted to that closer interchild birth, interbirth intervals, and they're actually even shorter. Like, people are having kids closer to 3 years apart, and even a percentage of when moms are having babies 2 years apart.
Yeah, I feel like the argument now is that you want them to grow up together, so they have friends.
And that, I didn't even think about that in terms of like, it might be the way people are substituting for the community. Like, they're trying to build their own like little micro communities, like where the children have each other because we don't have that extended community. But
another argument I usually hear is that like, it's going to be hard. I might as well just get it out the way now. So like the restless nights, let's just do back to back, the diapers, the changes.
Yeah, not starting over. But the thing is, like, we really need to allow our bodies and minds time to like recharge. And I think that's playing a role in our stress, you know, and also having a toddler on the spectrum. Like, it's a whole different level of stress. And even if it doesn't ever directly feel like it's them, like, I could honestly say, like, I don't spend day to day feeling like the kids are what stressed me, but I feel like subconsciously the lack of sleep, the extra work. And I also feel like as a modern society, we have so much pressure on like entertaining our kids, doing these activities with our kids, keeping them busy. We feel like they're like this prize, this investment. Like, I don't know, like, we even have some narcissistic tendencies with like making our kids the best. Like, it's our job. Like, we're going to be the architects of like building these humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking about that recently because I know we're trying to keep Eli as active as possible now, especially that he's being homeschooled. So, you know, he's doing taekwondo, wrestling, he's soccer, piano. And then I'm like, I think I was driving to wrestling the other day. I'm like, yo, this kid is doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna like end up being a rapper or something.
You know what it is with Eli? I feel like because he has a lot of energy, right? We were like Taekwondo, soccer, right? It's a lot of moving your body. Taekwondo is more focus based. He didn't really like soccer. Fine. But then is I don't want to miss out on opportunities as they present themselves, right? So like the opportunity for wrestling came and we were like, let's try it. He actually loves it. So it's like, now we got to do it. And then he got an opportunity for piano, like in a sleepaway camp, like in just a way that I'm like, how am I going to be like, no, like he needs to try this. I'm going to give him this opportunity. And he loves music. And it's like, also, I feel like learning piano requires a lot of focus. And I think it's helpful for his overall like demeanor. Mm-hmm. But I agree. I've had moments when I'm like, I'm trying so hard to not be the parent that doesn't push him into anything that I might be overdoing it. Mm-hmm. And like he's involved in way too many things. I've struggled with that in my mind.
Yeah. I feel like it's a balancing act. I think it's manageable now that we have our other two are very small. Mm-hmm. But, as they get older and then they're into things, I just don't want to be doing the most. And you see like these parents, it's like, all right, I'll go to so-and-so's soccer, you take them to basketball, and then we'll meet here, and then we'll have cereal for dinner.
I'm just hoping that like Santi and River can do the same things.
Yeah.
And then since there's such a big age gap, I feel like we might be able to be okay. I don't know, but it's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Another thing we wanted to do today was revisit one of our viral topics because someone shared it and it's kind of doing really good on Instagram. And it was one of our earlier episodes where the internet was dragging me. They say I'm terrible and Travis needs to divorce me.
Yeah, so I'm going to play it for you, any of you that haven't heard it. We're going to rewatch it ourselves and then talk about it.
So one of my issues with you is you seem to never have any problems. You tend to kind of just everything's go with the flow. Nothing ever bothers you. At least you don't say it. And although I feel like we balance each other, at times I have felt like you might be secretly holding all these grudges against me because you just never, ever have anything negative to say. And I'm like, I know I'm perfect, but not that perfect. No, I'm kidding.
I don't like conflict. So to me, it's just like, is it that serious to start something now?
But it doesn't mean we're starting something, because that's with the assumption that in you expressing your feelings, it's going to cause a fight. I feel like in you expressing your feelings, it's going to clarify something and it's going to make us better. And it's going to make me a better partner to you, because I might not notice how something's impacting you because your face is like stone all the time.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
So, have you worked on it?
I would say I have. One thing, this was an early episode, mm-hmm. and I still don't like conflict, but
nobody does.
In terms of expressing myself, I feel like, large in part to this podcast, like it's forced me to like deal with my feelings, mm-hmm. and not all the way. I'm not like always giving it up, but I feel like from that guy to where I am now, I think I express myself more.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not all the way there. Like, it's just expressing everything, because I'm just one of those people who like weighs the pros and cons, and I personally don't feel like everything needs to be said. Sometimes you can like work it out internally.
I also feel like since then we've kind of been a little bit more intentional with checking in and just like having conversations about what's going on. So then the floor is more open to you expressing how you're feeling.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that, this was like over 2 years ago, and so, can't remember the name of the page, but they just reshared it. They got like 500,000 views, and this clip did really well for us at the time when we posted as well. But the comments, it's just always dragging you. It's like, he has no problems and that's your problem. And we both know it's not that simple. Mm-hmm. But I think watching that in the present, it's I get what you were saying. And I hope that I've been showing up better for you.
Yeah. If I could kind of still apply it to our current state, it's kind of when I'm constantly feeling like there's space for us to grow and evolve, and you're kind of always super content and chill.
Mm.
Right? Maybe that could be a way that like it's still sort of present in our life, but I still feel the same. Like we kind of balance each other out in a sense. But I do find it very attractive when you do take initiative on things that in our life about any type of growth for us or evolution, change that you kind of champion.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
It does.
All right. You want to go do a also y'all can relate?
Oh yeah, let's do it. All right. Oh, so y'all can relate. Okay, so my partner, I'll call him Jay, has an employee, let's call him Dick, who is new to the company, but they became very friendly. When they started hanging out outside of work, I met Dick, and he seemed not to like me immediately. My partner is easily the most easygoing, optimistic person I've ever known. He gets along with nearly everyone. So he doesn't comprehend that the moment he isn't around, this Dick is rude to me. He makes snide remarks about how I'm taking my partner from him. My man spends most weekends with me, some with his coworkers, and even threw a sleeping bag into my chest while I was helping him unload from a camping trip.
That's out of pocket.
How do you feel about that?
I'm confused. At first I'm like listening, like, okay, wait.
Bless you.
Sorry. But then that threw me for a curve because I'm like, shit. I'm like, that's beyond him being rude. That's like, he literally doesn't like her. Right. I was initially thinking like, how do you know he doesn't like you? Like, what exactly is happening? But that sounds like a sign of aggression.
Yeah. I mean, he makes snide remarks about how I'm taking my partner from him, and even threw a sleeping bag into my chest while I was helping them unload from a camping trip. I kept quiet about the incident along with the few first comments this male made. This was a huge mistake because when I finally brought it up, I was at my wit's end, and Jay does not respond well to emotional communication.
Ooh, it's hard because I feel like...
Define emotional communication.
I guess like once she's already stressed out, so she's probably communicating in a way that's like angry.
Got it.
You know, like, this motherfucker, Dick, you know, versus like, this incident happened. I totally know for a fact that there's been times that maybe someone rubbed me the wrong way, but I didn't say it to you. Just because I'm like, I don't want to seem crazy, or like, maybe I'm looking into things strangely. So then if things had escalated, then maybe I would have told you in a way that was like, oh shit, now you're listing off all these occasions. But I've never had to, you know, like I've kind of been glad that I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
He wanted to defend his friend, and I felt unheard and uncared for. I don't want him to start a war. I just want him to choose me over this douchebag who doesn't even know Jay, and the only reason they're close is because Jay is his boss and this male is brown-nosing. I don't want to tell Jay to stay away from him because I don't want to be controlling, but I don't feel I should have to ask at all. Should I just ride this out, or is there a better way of dealing with it so it doesn't breed resentment?
Honestly, if he's the boss, they shouldn't be hanging out anyway.
It depends. I don't know it depends on the industry.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the restaurant business, that's not uncommon. I mean, I could think of a lot of scenarios where that wouldn't be so weird. Yeah. And like maybe she's calling him the boss, but maybe he's like his manager.
Yeah. I also think the part of like he doesn't respond well to emotional communication, I feel like that's a very, what's the word? Self-aware observation that they should just revisit the conversation when they're both like calm, have the conversation again so that it's a little bit more productive.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if there was anyone I considered a friend, especially a new friend, and they made you feel uneasy in the slightest, it would be a no-brainer for me.
Gotcha.
Like my relationship, assuming that he wants to spend the rest of his life with you, and some guy I've known less than 6 months, it's like...
And what if I said he threw a sleeping bag in my chest? I'd be scared to tell you something like that.
I don't know. I feel like I can get aggressive, but like strategically. Like I'm his man.
And that's I've never seen you like on some rah-rah shit, some aggressive, trying to fight, nothing. But I just know that you have a type of like protective like instinct when it comes to me. And I'm just glad I've never had to see you go there. But like I can't imagine telling you that some guy threw something in my chest. Like I just can't.
Yeah. Thank the Lord. But yeah, I think if I were gonna give advice to your boyfriend, it would be to keep it professional. Like you're this person's manager and he makes your partner feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. It's not that serious. Like I don't think you found your soulmate of a best friend.
Mm-hmm. And I also think I hate the jokes of like he makes remarks that I'm taking my partner. What was it?
Like the time they spend.
Yeah, I don't like those kind of side comments from people. Like when you're in a relationship with someone and you decide to spend time together, it's always put on the women like that they're the ones keeping you from things. Like it can't be like, this pussy's good, he just want to be with me. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's always like this, it's this narrative that the woman is controlling and like keeping the man, like if they don't have free will to do what they want. Like I also don't like that narrative. And it's always said as a joke, but it's like but there's kind of a little bit of honesty or seriousness in the joke.
Yeah. And just thinking about like friendships that maybe have some time in, like even people who've been with their friends for 5+ years, and they're being a douche to your partner, like that's a little different. Like I don't think you have to cut them off, but there has to be a conversation that happens that says you're gonna get your shit together or this friendship is gonna be over.
There's been some people that are close to you that talk to me kind of crazy that we spoke about.
We still friends?
Let's not talk about it. But I handle my own, don't worry. Okay. You know what it is, but it's fine. Okay. Yeah. Any last thoughts on the also y'all can relate before we move on?
Yeah, I would say just talk to him and maybe have him watch this segment. You need to keep it professional with that guy.
Yeah. Definitely. Just keep it pushing. And also I think that whole brown nosing thing, some people are very blind to that. Like they like the attention and aren't aware like, okay, I'm only getting it because of this authoritative like sort of dynamic that I have with these people.
Yeah, it's like if he's laughing a little too hard at your corny jokes.
Yeah, he don't really like you like that.
I don't think it's there, buddy.
All right. I want to go. This is another topic from our stories. Someone asked about learning calmness, patience, being positive, and even discipline when it comes to our parenting. And I feel like things are always so interconnected. And today I joined a creativity like circle. It was through Zoom and it was just some women taking time to intentionally work on things they're creative, right? Their creativity. And there was a guiding question about like what cycles keep coming up for you. People talked about, like I'll work out usually in the fall. Like it seems like I'm trying to balance like the stress from work. We're working out and it always happens in the fall. Someone else mentioned like self-sabotage or people pleasing, like different cycles that are like very relatable. And for me, I instantly thought about I'm constantly trying to be less reactive with Eli. Like for years and years, it's like I'm very proud that I don't beat my kids or whatever, and I allow my kids to express themselves. But like I go through phases where I realize like I'm super short with him, and like I'm just super reactive and snappy. And it's like I don't want to be that way because I don't want him to be that way with his peers, you know?
Yeah.
And if I'm modeling that behavior, what am I think is gonna happen?
Yeah, I think today I jokingly said to you, gentle parenting is overrated.
Because it's hard.
That shit, especially when they're like pushing your buttons, and you're just supposed to, honey.
Yeah, and then it's like also like pushing buttons. We think of someone purposely doing something, and a lot of times our kids aren't purposely pushing buttons. They're curious. They're asking questions. They're testing boundaries, and that's part of learning and growing. And I think rephrasing that is gonna be helpful. So I told myself, I was like, I need to write myself like a letter, like some type of affirmation to like remind myself of my own goals when it comes to that, so that I'm rewiring my brain so I'm not so reactive. So I took my time during the creativity circle to kind of write that, and also start reading this parenting book that I picked up at the library. What happened?
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I just titled it Patience and Kindness, and this is how it goes. This is what I want to read to myself every day this week. My child is growing, learning, curious, and energetic. I am kind and patient. I create a safe space for him to learn and make mistakes. He is free to challenge me and correct me. He learns kindness from me. He models kindness with his siblings and peers. I lead with love and joy. Leadership is a soft and strong quality that guides curiosity. I am flexible. I am self-aware and self-correcting. Taking accountability teaches my son to do the same.
It's beautiful.
That last part about taking accountability, I feel like it's something in our parenting journey with our eldest is like we've been talking a lot about, and like not making excuses and just like owning up to things. And I feel like every time I do react or yell or talk in a way I don't like, I catch myself trying to justify it. And I'm like, that's me not taking accountability. That's me blaming. That's me making it his fault.
We've both been trying to hold each other accountable by like, I don't know if we're either being snappy or short. We kind of like gently touch the other person, and we're just remember what we spoke about.
Because Travis has said like, I kind of wanted to say something when you were reacting in this way, but I didn't want to say anything in that moment. And, parents kind of, I get like wanting to be on the same team.
Be a united front
when it comes to our kids. But I also feel like if we're consciously trying to break this cycle and you see me acting in a way that goes against that, I think it should be okay for you to check me in front of him, because it also shows that you are on his side.
Yeah.
And it's not really his side, it's our side. It's like as a family, we're like freaking growing through this together. So like figuring that out, like when to check me in front of him and in the moment. And I was thinking about like, I want him to be able to tell me like, Mom, like, don't talk to me that way or whatever. But I don't want to put all the responsibility on him. Like, I need to be able to check myself. And I noticed that sometimes I do realize, but I'm like committed to it, or I'm over explaining, aka not taking accountability. And that's going to be like my focus this week, like not blaming anyone and just literally taking accountability and doing better.
Yeah, I think I told you, like, even if it seems weird, just take a second before you respond. Mm-hmm. Like, even on things that you aren't triggered by, just take a second.
Or even when I don't and I say it, it's okay to backtrack. And I think that's something that growing up you hear, like, is kind of a sign of weakness, right? Like, once you say something, stand on that shit. Mm. Be wrong and strong if you have to, but
standing on business.
Yes. Learning, like, I don't gotta stand on it because that's not who I want to be. It's not authentic to the self that I'm trying to achieve. So, like, being like, my bad, I was triggered, I reacted in a way that I'm not proud of.
Yeah,
let's do that again.
Saying sorry to your children doesn't make you weak. It makes you, I don't know, human.
Absolutely. And then it's like sometimes people say, oh, but your kids could take advantage of you. And it's like, I don't think my kid is that way. I don't think he's the type of person that will take advantage of me taking accountability and trying to be kinder. I don't think so.
I think the concern for us is that, by being kinder, there's going to be the point that you're trying to get across isn't going to hit home as much as if you're yelling. But I think, we know after the fact that, like, if anything, the yelling is probably not going to do the trick.
And my biggest concern is, like, I don't want him to speak to other people in that way, and it's like, if I'm modeling that type of behavior, then that's what he's going to do. And that's my biggest thing. Like, even as an older sibling, I know as the eldest of 5, my younger siblings probably think like Stephanie was a crazy ass bitch. She was always yelling at us because I was kind of like parenting them as a teenager. And I don't want him to feel like he's doing that with his siblings, like having to yell at them to correct them or redirect them.
Have you ever apologized to your siblings? Like, formally?
I don't think so. I don't think we formally have had like that conversation or like even asked them about their experience with me as the older sister.
Yeah. Because I know that same thing always comes up with them, which is like, oh, you calm Stephanie down. But I think maybe if you were intentional about having a conversation with them about like just what you were dealing with during that time and what you were modeling, it just might be good for them to know, like, when they're reflecting on their time with you as their like sister parent, that it doesn't have to be, they can have some grace.
Yeah. I also am proud of the way we communicate in front of Eli. Like, even through tension, like, there's been times I think we still kind of handle it in a way that, like, I'm proud of for him to see how adults deal with conflict and, like, as a married couple, right?
Yeah. I think, what were we doing the other day? I think we were just sitting down. Oh, we were having like a meeting about like planning and what we're going to do. And he like looked back at us like concerned because I think whatever we were speaking about it with like passion. And he's like, are you two arguing? I was like, Eli, if we were arguing, we would not be doing this in front of you. Like, we're communicating and it's okay. So I think it's just important to show him all aspects of our life.
I'm always so proud when he's checking in and asking, because this reminds me, like, it's not the norm. He's so used to us being so happy that any type of like conflict or perceived conflict, he's like concerned. Yeah. Last thoughts before we move on to something spicy.
No, that's it.
So the other day, I feel like it was one of those moments where I was feeling happy and like not in my postpartum depressive,
that
like,
sounds crazy,
shitty moods. Why?
Because I guess it's true. Whatever.
What were you?
No, I mean, it's just like one of my few happy moments.
Not for you happy moments, but like I might have been coming out of a really sad one where I was feeling good. Like my mood was up.
It's the reality. So I'm not gonna, no matter how it sounds, it's the reality. Some days are rough.
What's going on?
Some days are amazing.
So I sent Travis like a frisky text and I realized like, wow, like we don't do that as often as what?
Gotta pause there.
Okay.
So I get this frisky text while I'm at the dentist, right? So I sit down, I'm about to get my teeth clean, and what were they doing? Oh, they were doing scans. Because I was like, whatever. I was doing scans. And then she says, don't smile.
The dentist or whatever she is, her position.
And I feel my watch vibrate and I see the text and it said, I miss you in my guts. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I got these like metal things in my mouth and I'm trying like to keep it stone. And yeah, it was perfect timing.
Yeah. And it kind of reminded me of like conversations we've had before on the pod about how like we send messages to each other to kind of get things spicy before bedtime. You know, like if you kind of are just living your day to day and then you get in bed and expect sex without any type of intimacy throughout the whole day, it's like kind of hard sometimes. So an easy way to combat that is through texting, which could be awkward for people. Like it's uncomfortable sometimes depending on the situation. So I kind of put up a post in our story like, what's your favorite go-to line? And we got some good ones and some funny ones. So I kind of broke them down. So first I'm going to start with the ones that were a little confusing. And I had to be like, wait, what? Like my brain was like, I don't get it.
We're going to do our best to decipher them right now, though.
So this one is, I'm ready to give you a standing ovation today.
So I feel like there's two ways to go with this.
Yeah.
When you see like a play or something and they just like did an amazing job at the end, everyone stands up. It's like, great job, standing ovation.
So, you're like,
so I'm thinking their performance is so good. Their sexual performance is so good. It's like standing ovation, baby. You did that.
I need you to do your thing tonight.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this was a man. So another way to interpret that is standing ovation.
Oh, like a hard dick?
Hard dick.
True, maybe.
I don't know. I'm trying.
Yeah, here. We don't know. We don't know what their insiders are, but this is funny.
Yeah.
Okay, the other one, I was kind of confused, but I think I get it.
Okay.
I'm hungry. I want to empty out your plate.
I want to empty out your plate. So I want to devour you.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Kind of like eating out. This is like fellatio. Is it fellatio for men and women?
No, usually.
Cunnilingus. Sorry, I just remember.
Yeah. Fellatio is usually on a penis.
Okay. But yeah, so it's about oral sex. This one was funny as hell. Air fryer is code for sex when we get home.
It's funny, but what the fuck does it mean?
So I was thinking like an air fryer is like hot and ready. Like it's quick, it gets the job done.
So I want a quickie.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, they're quick. I don't know.
But you know what I liked about this is even if sexting is awkward and uncomfortable, y'all could have like a little code word.
Or usually use an air fryer to like warm up your leftovers. So like maybe they're saying like, I want some of last night again, but like
yes, like let's do it again. And sometimes leftovers be better than the night before. Yeah.
Put the French fries in the air fryer.
Be bussin'.
Don't forget the ketchup. I don't know.
No,
I'm trying.
You just killed it.
I'm trying.
Okay. There was one that was cute, which is another one that I feel like if you're not super comfortable with sexting, it's like, I hope I can give you a special hug tonight.
Aw.
It's cute.
Yeah.
It reminded me of, so Travis and I, sometimes when we say, I miss you, we know it means like sex, like sexy time.
Yeah.
But as of late, because of my postpartum depression, just like wanting like a lot more intimacy outside of sex, we started to say like, I miss you with a capital Y. So that means like you as a person and like beyond just sex, like just miss connecting with you. So now the joke is like with a capital Y or lowercase y. Yeah. So that made me think of that, which is super cute. These next ones are like really spicy. They're to the point and they might make some of you uncomfortable, but I kind of like it.
Okay. Or it might arouse you.
It might arouse you. It depends on the audience. Okay. I need to grind against your face and come in your mouth so bad.
Okay. Straight to the point. I don't think we need to like.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know, Travis hates when I talk about the past, but I feel like I'm not much of a like face writer in my 30s anymore.
Okay.
I
No.
feel like I remember being in my 20s and thinking that was so like special and fun, and like writing on a face was so exciting. I feel like
Same.
What, getting your face written or writing on faces?
Both. I think on that subject, I think there's a lot of things that you get older and you're like, that was because, we've been, I don't know, blinded by pornography and thinking.
Like 69.
Like 69 is why.
Yeah.
It's overrated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure someone will argue against it, but I don't know.
You know what I think 69 is? It's kind of like anal. That it's not an everyday thing. Like, I feel like maybe you're having some wild sex one day and y'all end up in 69 and it's not going to be bad.
Yeah.
Like, you might enjoy it if you just kind of, it's just having some wild rendezvous that kind of leads to it. Just like anal.
Guess.
It's not on the docket for me usually.
Yeah.
Mostly ever.
Once a full moon.
No, full moons kind of happen way more often than anal's attempting to happen. Okay, next spicy one. Thinking about you had me dripping last night. Tsunami part 2. I love that one because that's the kind of text when you had really great sex the night before that you really are thinking about it. Like, you're trying to work and have a normal day at home, and it's like those thoughts keep coming in like, damn, last night was kind of fire.
Yeah, I feel like that tends to happen to us when it happens.
Mm-hmm. The next day.
Yeah.
The frisky text. The next one was super to the point too. It's just, I need to come. It's like, bro, get it together because...
Let me tell you, only women can get that line off.
Oh, yeah. Don't. That's true.
Let me preface that. Like...
Yeah, if a guy's like, I need to come, that's not really sexy.
Yeah. That's fucked up. Yeah.
It's like, okay, go to the bathroom and use your hand.
Yeah, right.
What?
That's a topic we need to talk about one day.
What?
Masturbation.
What about it?
And how do people in relationship view it? Mm-hmm. Like, let's say you're not in the mood and I like, okay, babe, no problem. And I just go in the bathroom. I feel like it's happened like once or twice and you've like always raised an eyebrow.
I don't know. I think it depends.
I guess we're here now. On what?
Because if it's like I'm not in the mood, but I like need your presence still, like I still want you to like cuddle me and hold me, and you're like, I need to go jerk off first. It might be like,
okay, here's a example. And I want to hear what you would think.
Okay.
Other night we went to bed. I think it was really late, but I can still go. Doesn't matter what time we go to bed.
Yeah, literally.
And you were just like really tired, and you're like, I'm not in the mood, babe. I was like, okay, babe. I just gave you a kiss, said I love you, cuddled you up, and we went to bed.
You wanted to?
No, I was tired too.
Yeah,
the fact what you just was like, if you didn't want to do it, it's like fine, whatever. I'm not. Mm-hmm. But if I had got up and went to take care of myself, would that have bothered you?
Honestly, I don't know.
I think it would have. I'm just curious what goes on in your head as to why it bothers you.
I don't know. Maybe it's just some toxic ingrained cultural thing in my mind. I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna have to revisit that one.
I feel like I do get curious about like, does he ever jerk off? And like, why don't I know about it? And like, when would it happen? Like, when does he find the time to do it? I feel like I have those kind of questions. Especially because I've never been a masturbator ever. So it's just always like, when do people just have the time and energy to do that? Like in relationships with kids and they have a pretty healthy sex life. Like I feel like that's the other thing that gets me.
Yeah, but
like I'm like, we have a lot of sex.
I don't think it's unhealthy if you also masturbate on top of having a healthy sex life with your partner.
It could be like some insecurity that I might have too with like, does that mean I'm not enough? Like, even as much as we do have sex, like I'm still not enough. maybe that could, and I'm not saying that that's the reality, but maybe that's like what's playing in my head. Like, because I do honestly, it's important to me that you're satisfied sexually. You know what I mean? Like that, it's not like I don't think about it, you know? Like it is on my mind, and it is a goal of mine that we have a healthy sex life, and not on some like pick me, pleasing my husband type shit. More so like I like sex too, and it's a sign that we're in a good place when our sex life is good. So then if you're jerking off, I feel like to me that's like, oh shit, like I'm not doing enough. You know? Maybe that could be it.
Yeah. I challenge you to revisit that and
try tonight because I'm not in the mood. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. All right, there's a couple more. These are my favorite ones. Okay, so these 3 are my favorite. Trying to go to a water park and get some ice cream tonight. Is it open? I like it because it's creative.
Okay.
You don't like it?
That's cute.
It's a water park and then getting ice cream. Like, I'm going to make you come.
I think it's one of those, like, if your phone was on a table and, like, someone else read your phone, they'd be like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah. And it's also, like, if you randomly said that, but your partner doesn't know the context or understand you, they'd be like, what? But it's cute if, like, it's y'all thing.
Yeah.
This one's pretty cute, too. Want to eat Puerto Rican tonight? I love that one.
That's funny.
Especially as a foodie. But it's also, like, if y'all not both of the same, you know, like if you're Puerto Rican but your partner isn't, you know? Yeah. Like, I think it's really cool. Cute.
I'm trying to think how a man could say that.
This one's my favorite because I'm a toxica. Something about you paying my rent turns me on, daddy. And I love that they use daddy because some people judge me for that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when we first got together, it was like an adjustment period.
For you even?
Yeah, around people.
Oh, okay.
And now I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
But it was like yeah, she calls me that.
She calls me daddy. Cringe.
I mean, a few daddy issues, but she's good.
I think it's probably weird for women who do have their daddies and they call them daddy, but like I've never called a father figure daddy ever.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, it's not connected in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, paying rent is like a big D energy.
Really? So I'm pretty much a lock-in on the first all the time.
On the first, you got to show me the screenshot of you paying the rent.
Okay. Got it.
No, but I think it's cute. And I also kind of like that kink of like playing that like the guy who's like tricking and the girl who's like, oh, thank you. I think it's cute.
Okay.
Kind of toxic of me, but whatever.
Was that the last one?
That's the last one.
Those are good. Those are good. So do you want some jerk chicken tonight?
It doesn't work that way, I don't think. You want some Dominican food?
Yes, I could eat.
With a little bit of brujeria on it. if you know, you know.
I'm here.
Okay, baby.
My love.
Daddy.
Do you still like me?
I still like you.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.